Assalamu alaikum and good evening, everyone. Today we are going to start October-November 2023, paper 1-1. Let's start with question number 1. In which changes do the particles move further apart? Okay, a gas is heated from 0 to 25 degrees Celsius. Yes, as the temperature increases, the energy increases and particle gets further apart. Walaikum assalam, Khatija. Okay, Zainab, let me check. Pressure is applied to a gas at constant temperature. So on applying pressure, particles get closer to each other. So if the second statement is wrong, then it means A and C goes wrong. Steam condenses to form water. Steam means gas converting into water, which is liquid. So particles gets closer to each other. So statement 3 goes wrong as well. So it means we are left with only option B. So B is the correct answer. Yes, very good, Zainab and Yusuf. Now, question number 2. Data about two compounds is given. Both compounds have a simple molecular structure. Okay. Okay, one is H2S and its melting and boiling point is given. Then the second one is PCl3, its melting point and boiling point is given. Two bottles are placed close together inside a large container at a temperature of 90 degrees Celsius. So at 90 degrees Celsius, both are going to be gas, obviously. One bottle contains 1 gram of H2S and the other bottle contains 1 gram of PCl3. A detector is placed in the container 2 meters away from the two bottles. The two bottles are opened at the same time. Which is correct? Compound which reaches detector first, so it is the one which is lighter. So if I calculate its MR, so its sulfur is 32 and 2 hydrogens, right? So it is going to be 34. And over here, phosphorus is 31. And there are 3 chlorines, so 35.3. 35.5 times 3. So what will be its value then? 35.5 times 3 is 106.5. 106.5 plus 31 is 137. 137.5, right? So from this, we conclude it's heavier, it's heavy, and it's light, right? So it means the light one is going to reach first. So A and B can be correct. C and D goes wrong. Is this understandable to all of you? Now, gases diffuse faster than liquids, but both are gases. So this statement is not considered as correct. H2S has a lower MR than PCl3. Yes, that's what we have calculated. So statement A goes wrong as well. And option B is our correct answer. Very good, Yusuf. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now, question number 3. Substances can be element, compound, or mixtures. Okay, which row is correct? Element. Yeah, copper is an element. Methane is not an element. Nitrogen is an element, and oxygen is an element. So from this, B goes wrong. Compound. Brass is not a compound. Brass is an alloy, which means brass is a mixture. So A goes wrong. Okay, B is already wrong. Carbon dioxide is a compound. Glucose is a compound. Mixture. So A is already wrong. Water vapors. Water vapors are compound, not right? It's not a element. Oh, sorry, it's not a mixture. So C goes wrong as well. And if you see D is the correct answer, air is a mixture of many gases. So yes, very good, Yusuf. I hope it's clear to all of you. Question number 3. Now question number 4. The letters X, Y, and Z represents the different atoms. Okay. Which statement is correct? X and Y are the same element. So if you see both have a 19 atomic number, so yeah, it's correct. X and Z are the same element. No, Z has an atomic number of 20. So B goes B goes wrong. X has more proton than Y. Both have a same number of protons, so C goes wrong as well. X has a more neutrons, Z has a more neutrons than Y. In Y, neutrons are 20, and in Z, neutrons are also 20. So statement B is wrong as well. So the correct answer is A for question number 4. Okay. Now question number 5. A student makes 3 statements. Calcium ion has a 2 positive charge and oxide ion has a 2 negative charge. Yes, we know calcium is in group 2, so it is 2 positive and oxide is in 2 negative. So this statement is correct. Oxide is in group 6, so it has a 2 negative charge. Magnesium ion and oxide ion have a same electronic configuration as neon. Okay. Magnesium is 12. So when it becomes 2 positive charge ion, then it becomes 2 and 8. Oxygen is 8, but when it becomes 2 negative ion, it becomes 2 and 8. So it has a 10 electrons. It has a 10 electrons. Now let's see neon. Neon has a 10 electrons. Yes, so first statement is correct and second statement is correct. Both are correct. So if second statement is correct, then it means C cannot be an answer, right? Calcium ion has a 3 full electron shells and magnesium ion has a 2 full electron shells. So calcium is 20 with a 2 positive charge and magnesium is 12 proton number with a 2 positive charge. So if I fill the electrons, it has a 18 electrons, so 2, 8 and 8. So this is correct. And it has a 2, 8. So this is also correct. So third statement is correct as well. And it means B, C, and D all are wrong. And A is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now question number 6. 4 statements about graphite, diamond, and silicon oxide are listed. Diamond and silicon peroxide both are very hard and have a similar structures. Yes, this is correct. In diamond, each carbon atom is joined to 4 other carbon atoms. Yes, this is correct too. Silicon peroxide form a joint structure of a silicon and oxygen atoms. Yes, this is correct as well. Diamond and graphite both conduct electricity. Wrong. Graphite conduct electricity and diamond does not. So 4 statement is wrong, and if 4 statement is wrong, then A, B, C, and D all goes wrong, and A is the correct answer. Now, question number 7. Which row is correct? Compound. Ammonia is a compound, ethene is a compound, methanol is a compound, propanoic acid is a compound. Ammonia, wrong formula. Ethene, wrong formula. Ammonia, the formula of ammonia is NH3, the formula of ethene is C2H4. Methanol, correct formula. Propanoic acid is wrong because according to the general formula, the molecular formula of propanoic acid is going to be C3H6O2, and it is, methanol is CH3OH, right? So it can be written as CH4O as well. So yeah, A, B, and D goes wrong, and C is the correct answer. Now, question number 8. Compound Y is the only substance formed when 50 centimeter cube of ammonia reacts with 250 centimeter cube of carbon dioxide. All measurements at are taken. Okay, it's very easy to convert it into a simplest ratio. So if you convert them into the simplest ratio, it is 50 is to 250, 50, 500 is to 250, which is ammonia, CO2. So if I simplify it, Isn't it? We get 2:1. So it means 2 moles of ammonia is reacting with 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Is this understandable? So see, if there are 2 moles of ammonia, then there are then whatever the compound over here form, I don't know the formula right now, but I can say it has a 2 nitrogen, it has a 6 hydrogen, it has a 1 carbon, and it has a 2 oxygen. Is this understandable? Yes, Khatija. See, they have given you the volume of the gases, that 500 centimeter cube of ammonia and 250 centimeter cube of carbon dioxide, right? So if I simplify it, it gives me the ratio of 2:1. So the mole ratio of our gases and the volume ratio of the gases are same. So from this, I have concluded that 2 moles of ammonia reacts with 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Is this understandable? So, for example, it is forming a Z. I don't know the formula of a Z, but from this I can conclude that Z has a 2 moles of nitrogen because there are 2 nitrogens in 2 moles of ammonia. Z has a 6 hydrogens because 2 moles of ammonia contain 6 hydrogen. There is a 1 carbon because 1 mole of carbon dioxide has 1 carbon, and there are 2 oxygen. Is this understandable to all of you? Okay. Now see, 8 hydrogens over here, and here it says 6 hydrogens, so A goes wrong. If you see 4 hydrogens over here, so this makes it this wrong, and 4 again 8 hydrogen makes B wrong as well. So we are left with the B, and if you count in B, there are 2 nitrogens, there are 6 hydrogens, there is 1 carbon, and there is 2 oxygen. And isn't it? It's same as we have uh, concluded earlier. So it matches that information. So it means B is the correct answer. Is this clear? Okay. Now question number 9. How many sodium ions are there in 30 gram of sodium sulfate? So for this, most of the students are going to do the mistake is the wrong formula of sodium sulfate. So if you look into the periodic table, you will find sodium is in group 1, so it has a +1 charge. And if you find sulfate, it's a polyatomic ion, so its formula must be remembered by you. So it is going to be SO4 2 negative. And from this, when you make the formula, it is going to be sodium sulfate. Na2SO4. Now in Na2SO4, from Na2SO4, you will get 2 moles of sodium and 1 mole of sulfate. Is this understandable to all of you? Okay, just guys give me a minute, please. Okay, so we have to find number of sodium ions in 30 gram of sodium. Okay, so if there is a 1 mole of sodium, I think everyone can relate. If you look in the periodic table, the AR of sodium is 23, right? So 1 mole of sodium has 23 grams, and if it's 1 mole, then it means that it has a 6.02 exponent 23 ions. Is this understandable to all of you? So we got this ratio. So this is our ratio that 23 gram of sodium ions has a 6.02 exponent 23 ions. If there are 30 grams, then how many ions are there? X ions. So if you find the value of X, you will be able to find the number of sodium ions in 30 grams. Is this understandable to all of you? Yes, is this understandable or not? If anyone has any confusion in this, please ask. And can anyone calculate me the value of X? Yes, can anyone calculate me the value of X, please? Because it's a 1 mole, Zainab, and if you see, the periodic table is giving me the AR of sodium is 1. So it means it's 23 gram for 1 mole, isn't it? Khadija, you must check again. So see, so from that we can conclude it that the mass of 1 mole is 23 gram, which we have took it from the periodic table, and we know 1 mole has these much ions. So the mass of 1 mole has this much ion. So if the mass is 30 gram, then how much ions would be X? So you have to calculate the value of X. Khadija, please. Okay, there is a one problem over here. I think I overlooked. See, we are saying 30 grams of sodium sulfate, not 30 grams of sodium. So I have really considered it 30 gram of sodium. So just wait. Okay. I hope till here it's clear to all of you that 1 mole of sodium sulfate is providing you 2 moles of sodium ions. Is this understandable to all of you? Okay. Now it is a 30 gram of sodium sulfate. First calculate its MR. So its MR is going to be 46 because 2 sodium and sulfates is 96. So if you add it, you will get 52, 52 and 90 is 142. Is it 142? Can anyone confirm me, please? Okay. So if I have to find the moles of sodium sulfate, so what I would do, 30 grams divided by 142 grams. Can anyone calculate and tell me the value of moles? 30 divided by 142. No, Zainab, check it again. I have done it. It is 0. Yeah, it is 0.2116. 0.2116. These are the moles of which thing? Which substance? These are the moles of sodium sulfate. So the moles of sodium ions would be twice of these moles because 1 mole of sodium sulfate is producing 2 moles of sodium ions. So if I multiply it with 2, and it is going to be 0.4225 grams. Is this clear to all of you? Sorry, 0. It's mole, not gram. MOL. My mistake. Till here, is this clear? We got the moles of sodium. Yeah, 0.2116 is of a whole compound. And if you see, if you make the ratio, if you see the ratio of sodium sulfate with the sodium ion, what it is? Isn't it 1:2? Because 1 mole of sodium sulfate contains 2 moles of sodium. So if there is a 1 mole of sodium sulfate, it will provide 2 moles of sodium ions. So if there are 0.2116 moles of sodium sulfate, then double of this would be the moles of sodium ions. Is this clear? Okay. Now we got the moles. Now, what was the formula to convert the moles into particles? If you recall the formula, it is the number of moles divided by Avogadro's number, which is 6.02 exponent 23. No, the formula is number of moles times times Avogadro's number, 6.02 exponent 23. So can anyone multiply it and tell me the answer? So it's 2.54 exponent 23, which means this is the correct answer. So C, D, and A goes wrong, and B is the correct answer. I hope it's clear to all of you. Now, question number 10. Three compounds are listed: copper nitrate, zinc sulfate, sodium thiosulfate. Which one shows the element that is present in the greatest percentage by mass in each compound? Okay, they have given you the MR values of these compounds. Copper nitrate. Okay. So if we see, the AR of copper is 64, right? And there are 6 oxygens. So 16 times 6 is 96. So which one has the greatest percentage, oxygen or copper? Because to find the percentage of copper, we have to divide 64 times divided by 188 and multiply by 100. And for oxygen, we have to divide 96 divided by 100 sorry, 96 divided by 188 multiply by 100. So see, obviously this one has a greatest mass. So the percentage of oxygen is going to be greater than copper. So in copper nitrate, oxygen is in the greatest percentage. That makes A and B goes wrong. Is this understandable to all of you? Okay. Now, over here, the total mass is 161. If you look at the mass of zinc, it's 65. Okay. So zinc is 65, sulfur is 32, and 4 oxygens are 64. So zinc has a greatest mass. So for oxygens, I have to divide 64 by 161 and multiply by 100. And for zinc, I have to divide 65 by 161 and multiply by 100. So obviously oxygen has a lower percentage and zinc has a greater percentage. Now, in sodium thiosulfate, okay. So see, there are 2 sodiums whose mass is 46, and there are 2 sulfur whose mass is 64, and there are 3 oxygen whose mass is 48. So here it's a sodium which is going to be the lesser percentage because it's just 46, and sulfur is going to have a greater percentage because its mass is 64. So C goes wrong and D is the correct answer. Is this clear to all of you? Now question number 11. The complete combustion of 20 centimeter cube of gaseous alkane requires 130 centimeter cube oxygen. Both measures at RTP. What could be the identity of X? So do it the same thing as I have told you. Simplify it and turn into a mole ratio. So it's 20 centimeter cube and it's 130 centimeter cube. So if you simplify it, it is going to be 2:13, and if I further simplify it, it is going to be 1:13/2. Is this understandable? So let's start with butane. C4H8 plus O2. As we know, there are 4 oxygens, so 4 moles of carbon dioxide is formed, and 8 hydrogens, so 4 moles of water has been formed. Is this clear? Yeah, it will make it easier to do. Yes, Khatija, it makes it easier to do. Now balance it. How many oxygens we got over here? 8. And how many oxygen we got over here? 4. So the total number of oxygens are 12, and to balance the 12, we need to put 6. So see what ratio we are getting? 1:6. And actual the ratio is 1:13/2. So A goes wrong. Is this clear to all of you? Because the ratio of alkane and oxygen is not 1:13/2, but 1:6. So it doesn't matches the ratio that is provided by the examiner, that makes it wrong. Now, ethane, it is C2H6. So when it reacts with the oxygen, we get 2 moles of carbon dioxide and 3 moles of water, right? Now, if you balance it, 4 oxygen over here and 3. So 4 plus 3, 7. So we are going to get 7/2. So the ratio is 1:7/2, isn't it? So B goes wrong as well. Oh, yes, Ahmed Mushtaba, thank you so much. So it's C4H10, not C4H8. C4H8 is butene, right? C4H10. Now, if it is C4H10, thank you, Ahmed. So it is going to be 5. And 8 plus 5 is going to be 13. So if I balance it, I'm going to get 13/2. So if I'm going to get 13/2, then see this, the ratio of a butane is matching. So it is the correct answer. So B, C, and D goes wrong. Thank you, Ahmed. Is this understandable? See, that is the thing. If you use the wrong formula, your correct answer will also go wrong. So be careful when writing the formula. Okay. Now, question number 12. If anyone has any confusion in question number 11, please ask. Okay. Then question number 12. Aqueous copper 2 sulfate is electrolyzed with copper electrodes. What is the equation of a reaction at anode? Anode is the negative electrode, right? Where oxidation occurs. So copper ions would not be going to, oh, sorry, anode is a positive electrode. So here, if you recall, this reaction would occur. So it means this is correct one. A, B, sorry, B, C, and D goes wrong, and A is the correct answer. Now, Question number 13. Three statements about fuel cells are given. A hydrogen oxygen fuel cell requires continuous of fuel and oxygen. Yes, hydrogen is continuously needed. So statement one is correct. In a hydrogen oxygen fuel cell, hydrogen is burned in oxygen to produce electricity. Hydrogen oxygen fuel cell, hydrogen is burned. No, it's not burned. It is, uh, hydrogen is oxidized to hydrogen ions, and there those hydrogen ions combine with the hydroxide ions to give you water. So it's not burned. So second is statement is not correct. When a hydrogen oxygen, and if second is not correct, then if you see A, B, and D, all are incorrect because all contains two. So it means C is the correct answer. And yes, third statement is also correct. But it's obvious if second goes wrong, then according to the given options, you can conclude that the third statement is correct. Now question number 14. Under certain conditions, nitrogen reacts with oxygen to form N2O. See, oxygen. So it's a combustion, and if it's a combustion, it's exothermic. Okay, but here they are saying that it's okay, it's a reversible and it's an endothermic. The reaction pathway diagram are shown. What is the activation energy of the reverse reaction? So for a reverse reaction, it goes in this direction, right? So the activation energy for the reverse reaction would be this only. So if you see, the whole is 447 and this is 164. So 447 minus 164 would give you the activation energy of the reverse reaction. And remember, for a reverse reaction, whatever the reaction is, forward or reverse, the activation energy is never in negative. So 7 minus 4 gives you 3. 14 minus 6 gives you 8. And 3 minus 1 gives you 2. So that would be the correct answer. C goes wrong and D is the correct. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now question number 15. Hydrogen and bromine reacts to form hydrogen bromide. Okay. Bond energy data is given in the table. What is the enthalpy change for this reaction? So if you recall the formula, that enthalpy change is equals to bond broken minus bond formed or bond made. So bond broken is this one, and it is going to be times 1 because 1 more. Bond broken is this one, and it is also going to be times 1 because 1 more. This is the one which bond is made, and there are 2 moles of HBr, so it means it is going to be times 2. So bond broken is 436 and 193, and bond formed is twice of 366. So it's 9, 2, and 5 minus 366 times 2 is it 732 if I'm not wrong? So 529 minus 732. Because activation energy is the, if you are asking about the activation energy, Zainab, it is not negative because activation energy, if you recall the definition, it is the amount of energy needed to start the reaction. So if it's needed, it means that it is the energy that is given to the system. So it is the energy which is always absorbed by the reactant. So if it is absorbed, it is taken in, it is always negative. So 732 minus and 529. So we are going to get the negative sign, right? 12 minus 9 gives me 3, 0, and I'm getting 203. Two, 6, 12. Yeah, is it 629, not 529, sorry. So minus 103. So this is correct. So A, C, and D goes wrong, and B is the correct answer. Yes, is this clear to all of you? Yes, Zainab, you got your answer? Yes, if anyone has any confusion in that, please ask. Now, question number 16. Octane C8H18 is a hydrocarbon. When octane is mixed with an excess of oxygen, no change takes place unless energy is supplied. Okay. The energy is supplied in the form of heat or electric spark. A change takes place quickly. The products of this include carbon dioxide. Which part of this description showed that the change is chemical reaction? Octane is hydrocarbon. No, this doesn't explain that this change. No change takes place. Energy is supplied. Energy takes change. Carbon dioxide is produced. That this indicates that that chemical changes takes place because chemical change is the one in which the composition is for change, new substances formed. So see, initially we have a one substance C8H18 and the other substance is oxygen, and this is produced. So it means see a new substance is produced, and when a new substance is produced, it indicates that it is the chemical change. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 17. A student plans to investigate how the rate of reaction changes when the hydrochloric acid and calcium carbonate reacts. Here they give you the equation. Okay. These are the methods described. Record the mass of the flask and content every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. Okay. Yeah, this can be done because as the gas is formed, see over here, you are seeing that gas is forming. So gas, gas escapes from the cotton wool, and as gas escape, we will observe the change in, you know, uh, change in mass, and which can be used with the time to find the rate. Measure and record the volume of a gas in the syringe after 30 seconds. Yeah. Count and record the total number of bubbles of a gas in water for every 30 seconds for 5 minutes. Okay. In this case, they just said that after 30 seconds, we need to record the volume formed or the number of bubbles or the mass decrease at equal intervals of time. So no intervals of time are given. So it is not helpful to find the rate. So if second goes wrong, then A is wrong, B is wrong, and D is wrong. First and third statement method is correct. So C is the correct answer. Is this understandable to all of you? Yes, is this clear? Okay. Now, question number 18. Aqueous bromine is an equilibrium mixture. Okay. Aqueous bromine is orange in color. Okay, here we got orange. The species on the right side of the equation are colorless. Okay. Changes are made to three separate portions of the equilibrium mixture, which shows how the color of the mixture changes when a small amount of each substance is added. Adding sulfuric acid. If we add sulfuric acid contains hydrogen. So hydrogen concentration increases, equilibrium shifts to the left, and as a result, orange color becomes darker. So yeah, adding sulfuric acid makes the solution more darker, not paler. So D statement is wrong. Is this clear to all of you? So if D is wrong, so all these are considered to be wrong. Okay, Zainab, yes, you are right. Now, if you see, we are adding sodium bromide, so it contains a bromide. So bromide is over here. When we add bromide, the sodium bromide ions concentration increases, and as a result, again equilibrium shifts to the left, and as a result, the orange color gets darker in this case as well. So here, paler orange makes it C wrong, and these two are correct. Now, adding water. When we add water, see water is over here. Concentration of water increases, equilibrium shifts to the left, and as a result, colorless solution among the species having colorless forms more, so the color becomes paler orange, not darker orange in this case. So A goes wrong and B is the correct answer. Very good, Zainab. Is this clear to all of you? Now, question number 19. In which substance does the nitrogen atom have the same oxidation number as the nitrogen atom in HNO2? So if you work on HNO2, its net charge is 0. It's minus 2 times 2 makes it minus 4. Hydrogen is plus 1, so nitrogen is going to be plus 3. So here, nitrogen is plus 3. Assume the following oxidation number of the other elements in the compounds. Hydrogen is plus 1, fluorine is minus 1, oxygen is minus 2. So if fluorine is minus 1, if you see net charge is 0, fluorine is minus 1, there are 3 fluorine, which makes it minus 3, minus 3, 0. So nitrogen is going to be plus 3. So A is correct. So if A is correct, I'm sure that A is correct. If you work over here, nitrogen is going to be minus 3 because plus 4 of 4 hydrogen gives you plus net charge plus 1. It's minus 2, so nitrogen is going to be plus 2. The net charge is plus 1 and it's minus 4 of 2 oxygen, so it means nitrogen is going to be plus 3. No, sorry. Nitrogen is going to be plus 5. That's why we are getting the plus 1 net charge. So B, C, and D goes wrong, and A is the correct answer over here. Is this question is clear to all of you? If any one of you has any problem in this, please ask. Okay. Now question number 20. Lime water is an aqueous calcium hydroxide. Which statement about lime water is correct? Its pH is below 7, not at all, because it's a hydroxide, which means aqueous hydroxide, right? So it is an alkali. And if it's a solid hydroxide, we consider it as a base. It gives a blue green flame test. No, I doubt calcium gives a blue green flame test. It's yellow. No, it's not blue green, it's red, I suppose. So B goes wrong as well. It reacts with ammonia to form ammonium salt. No, alkali reacts with ammonia, reacts with ammonium salts to give ammonia, not with ammonia. Ammonia is a base, so acid would react with ammonia, so C goes wrong as well. It turns yellow when methyl orange is added. Yes, methyl orange is an indicator. In acid, it's red. In base, it's yellow. So yeah, it's yellow. So statement D is correct. Is this clear to all of you? Yeah, so flame test must be remembered because flame test is given to you guys in paper 4. Okay. So here we have done with the half of the paper, and now the next half we are going to do in our next class. And the next class, okay, when you guys have, do you guys have any other paper before chemistry? Okay. And chemistry also is on Tuesday, right? Okay, that's fine because I'm left with the two papers, this one and the February, October, November, uh, you know, October, November 1, 2. So we are going to have a break tomorrow and we are going to have a class on Friday. And then after Friday, we are going to start October, November 1, 2, and we will end that before the exam. Okay. So see you everyone in the next class. We are going to end this paper in the next class. Okay, take care everyone. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.